Tonight is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net at 8 p.m. We meet on 8 p.m. Saturday Pacific Time and 8 p.m. Wednesday. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio operators who take to the airwaves with fast scan amateur television. That's an NTSC analog standard. If you want to see what the rest of us are talking about, you can go to your favorite search engine and look for us. You'll eventually find our channel on YouTube. Please keep in mind we cannot respond real time to those YouTube comments. Let me pause for a minute and ask for a radio check from Wade, W7ATS. Am I coming through tonight? Clear. I'll take that as a yes. I'm coming through okay. Just wanted to make sure of that. I am transmitting minimum power into a 3-element vertically polarized 6-meter beam, but I'm not very far from the repeater. And for our YouTube, or rather our Echolink users, if you want to join our net, all visitors are welcome, but you might want to use 103.5. That's not the normal PL tone for this repeater, but that's the one that will get us into Echolink tonight. So far we have Wade W7ITL, Ron K9. QKU, Jim N7QO, Richard K7ITX. Who else would like to join us tonight? Cut out, K9PQ is here. Bob K9PQ. Do you have any visitors who'd like to check in and out, or perhaps join our conversation? W7ITL, I think you've almost in and out tonight, so let's let you go first. Be real quick, so everybody's going to check in. W7ITL here in Tacoma. Been a pretty eventful day. I got up at 3:30 to get ready for my race, and went up to Mount Rainier, and it's Ashford, or whatever it's called. But yeah, I went to that park, and I was already up that way in Eatonville. Was visiting a friend, and we both went up there, and we did a race together, half marathon, and did pretty good, I thought, for my first time. So pretty excited about getting that. I got under the wire just barely to get my qualification. But maybe next time I'll get a better time. But it's still good. Let's see, anything else today? Just kind of relaxing now as the evening goes on, and I'm gonna just turn it back to net, and you guys have a good evening. W7ITL. W7ITL, thank you very much for joining our net tonight. I'll make sure the video repeater gets turned off. Have a great evening. Next up on the list, Ron, KD7QKU. Take it away, Ron.
Okay, well, thank you very much, James, W7N in the group, KD7QKU here. I too am in Tacoma. Well, we just made a quick trip over to Lakewood and got the cat some dry cat food. She eats this Hills Brothers KD kidney special food for cats for their kidneys, and she seems to like it, so she was out, so we had to run over and get another bag. We get a 4-pound bag. It lasts quite a while, but she finally ate it all up. So what else did I do today? Not much. I'm getting so used to doing nothing because of this COVID that I just sit on my butt and watch TV. I guess I watch too much baseball, that's for sure. Oh, I did go out and start the motorhome. I hadn't done that for a while. It just started right up, and I noticed that it had less than a half a tank of gas, and that's not good. It is and it isn't. It's old gas now, but it'd be nice to add some fresh to it. But the price of gas, it holds 40 gallons, or it costs quite a bit to fill it up. All right, that's enough for now.
okay. Maybe. All right, good. All right, well, let's see here. I'm going to I got a couple pictures to show. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Looks like I might do it. Share that. Okay. And then we go. We'll just do it over here a little bit. And then go to view. And full screen mode. Okay. Alright, so, I really was amazed by this car as soon as I saw it. It's a brand new Ford, what can I say, GT, I guess. I mean, it's just, how'd you like to drive that sucker around town? I mean, god dang. Let's see here. Let me see if I can, there's another shot of it. Jeez. I mean, it's just beautiful. And then another car I really liked, oh, by the way, I'm at the races, if you couldn't figure that out by now. And then here's the inside of a GTP car. I swear, I know I saw this car probably 25 years ago at Portland International Raceway at the, they call it the Camel GT, 3-hour endurance race. And here's a big guy climbing out of it. Looks like ZZ Top, checking him out a little bit. Well, he's actually on the crew. But it's just on some of these cars. I mean, I've got a lot of fish. I didn't have a lot of time to throw them together for you guys. But anyway, got a couple war stories maybe the next time I come around. So with that, I'll send it back to net control. K7ATS.
That is a beautiful car. This is James WW7N. Next on the list is Jim out in Covington, N7QO. Take it away, Jim. N7QO, thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. We're on baseball. Well, at least the Mariners are doing exceedingly well this year. Maybe you're getting bored with them winning. That's great. Let's see, Dick, Red Ford, my goodness. That thing looks fast just sitting there. I'll tell you what, get one of those things, the traffic cops are going to be out to get you, whether you're doing something wrong or not. I wouldn't want that. Let's see. Yeah, Bob, don't know what's going on with the audio there. Sounds really good to where I am. I got that you're switching to Echo Link. Good luck with that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There was a race on this morning. It was Formula 1 cars, but they were all electric. And I watched that until close to the very end. I got a phone call and had to go. It had just started raining, and there was a massive pileup, it looked like. So I didn't catch the very end of that. Don't know what happened, but it was interesting. Electric Formula 1 cars? I don't know, sounds a little odd to me. Maybe you can explain to us what was going on there when it's your turn. Back to you, Jim, N7QO. Hey, Jim, N7Q out in Covington. This is James WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. The picture coming off 1.2 gigahertz right now is just absolutely a solid 5. And I'm hearing good repeater audio. So I think Bob, KMPQ, was going to try and switch over to Echo Link. Haven't heard the announcement though. Bob, are you there? Connected K9PQ. I'm here. Can you hear me? Oh, it looks
looks like James is still talking.
Bob, okay, Bob, I heard you that time. K9TQ, go ahead.
Okay, there we go. I've got it, and let me switch the video over. Many things to do here. So hopefully you're also seeing me, or will be shortly on. Okay. Well, let's see. Thanks for the suggestion, by the way. I forgot all about Echo Link. And I have no idea what's going on here. I'm sure it's something going on at my place. I just don't know what, and it's actually disturbing me a bit. So Wade, man, oh man, I guess Wade's gone, but I can't believe what he did to the half marathon. My speed is with Ron today. My big accomplishment today was listening to the Mariners game, and it was a heck of a game. And I just can't believe there's 13 wins in a row, and 21 of the last 24 games. Pretty impressive. After they looked dead early in the year, and so I'm back on board. I'm on the bandwagon again. I was ready to jump off. And that's pretty cool on the Formula One electric gym. I think I've heard something like that called Formula E. I don't know if that's what you were watching, but I've heard it called Formula E. And Richard, that Ford GT, that new Ford GT is just awesome. There's a guy here in my condo complex that has one of the old original Ford GTs. He keeps it in his garage. And so let's talk sometime, because I bet he would be happy to have you take a look at it if you want to. But you see great cars all the time. And I don't know what that other car was that you were talking about, so if you could say what that was, that you showed pictures of with ZZ Top looking in, I don't know what that car was. So I guess that's good for now. I'll send it back, Kate. I beat you.
Well, yeah, there's always Echo Link, so let's try and see if Echo Link holds up here. Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles, go ahead.
Okay, we'll give her a try here to make it. Alright, good, I got a thumbs up. Very good. Well, Lee here in Port Angeles, N7KC. Good evening to all. I was a couple minutes late. I think Wade, I don't know if he won the half marathon or if he just ran the half marathon. But just running a half marathon is a pretty good trick. Wow. That's like 13 miles or something like that. Pretty good. Let's see. Richard, beautiful cars. The black one. What were the two plastic bottles that were tied down below the exhaust there on the rear of that one? I saw those and I thought, what is that? You know? Okay, I thought you might know. I think the Ford's expensive. Maybe the black one's more expensive. And it wasn't clear to me. I saw the steering wheel on the black one. Wait a minute, maybe that was the Ford. I don't know. Anyway, there was a steering wheel laying up on the dash, and it wasn't immediately obvious what that connected to, where the driver was there. So that didn't show up to me. So there's a very noisy airplane taking off from Fairchild International Airport. We're just north of it, about 3 blocks. Wow, it was noisy. Anyway, we went to Port Townsend today to the Spruce Goose and had a late breakfast and so forth. And on our way home, we got a telephone call from Dave Thorson. Some of you might remember Dave Thorson, K7TST. And he and Michelle stopped by the house here for a short visit today. So that was really, really fun. Good time for me. Anyway, so at the moment, I'm about out of time. I don't have anything else anyway. So thank you, James, for running the net tonight. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Go ahead.
KC, Lee up in Port Angeles. Thank you very much for that. This is James WW7ATS Northeast Bellevue, and I'm getting a really good picture on 1.2 gigahertz tonight. So I can see it's about 15 minutes after the hour. So let me pause for a moment in case you're wondering what you're listening to on the 2-meter OS machine here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. We welcome all visitors, either for a check-in and a check-out, or if you'd like to join our conversation. So see if that push-to-talk button works on the side of that microphone. Go ahead and come now. No stations heard. Well, as I said, my name is James, WW7N. I'm working as net control tonight for the WW7ATS. Well, let's see. Ron, I heard something interesting today, and that is cats get a lot of their water from their food. I didn't know that. So I was discussing with a cat owner. This is obviously a mutant cat. My theory is that actually it's an alien in disguise just sent here to spy on us because it does not like tuna. Have you ever heard of a cat that doesn't like tuna? Obviously that's a flaw in its programming, but that's where I got that the cats get most of their food from, or generally get most of their food from their water, and that actually their lineage goes back to being a desert creature. I didn't know that. So anyway, that's a bit of cat tidbits. So, my goodness, yeah, Ron, I guess it would be over $200 then to fill up an RV. If it's 40 gallons, it's what, $5 or $6 a gallon. But I have got to change the oil on my car because during COVID I didn't change it, and all of a sudden I'm realizing it's been a long time since I've changed my oil, and there's actually enough miles on it now to do that. So vehicle maintenance, I think COVID-19, my sister put it best. You have to remember to take your car out for a walk on a regular basis. So yeah, I got a bunch of vehicle maintenance to do, and also I've got an old truck that I need to charge the battery up on. So anyway, just as a reminder, we are using the 103.5 PL tone so that everybody can hear us on Echolink. So going back around to the top of the list, let's go back to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you again, James. This is KD7QKU. Well, we've always had water available for our cat, and our cat has always drank water. They get a lot of water, I guess, or moisture from canned food. She's always had both canned food and dry food. And Richard, I guess I'm assuming you're in Portland. Are you in Portland? Or, yeah, he's saying yes, he's in Portland. Okay. And Jim, N7QO, I can't see the Mariners, so I haven't ever seen them play, except on the news when they show them. I have Dish TV, and they and Route Northwest got in a dispute, and they pulled the plug on the Mariners, and I haven't watched them all year. But it doesn't break my heart. I was fed up with the Mariners anyway. We kind of talked about this the other day. So we'll see after this year if they sell all the players because they're worth more money than the Mariners are willing to pay. That's what's happened to all the other good players we ever had. So we'll see what happens. And I hope they do well. I hope they get in the playoffs. And you were talking about cars. I've told you guys this before, but maybe I'll tell you again. My son, had a commemorative bullet Mustang, dark green. And it got stolen. So then he went over to Yakima or someplace, and he bought I think it was a 2013 Mustang. It was silver, and it was a factory racing Mustang, and it only had, 12 or 13,000 miles on it. And it came from the factory with white tires on it, and it had a blower on the engine from the factory, and it made over 600 and some horsepower, almost 700 horsepower. And it had kind of racing seats in it. It was silver on the outside, and it was red and black on the inside. It was just absolutely a gorgeous car. But it was insane to drive it. It was insane to drive it. And, of course, Mike lived in Auburn and worked in Renton, and he drove it to work every day, and he liked to street race with it, of course. And he said that it wasn't any fun because he could beat everybody too easy. So I don't know. Anyway, he ended up selling it. He got his other car back. He he asked me if I wanted to buy it. I love the car. If I'd have been younger, I probably would have bought it. But, you know, old guy, what do you do with this almost a 700 horsepower Mustang? Besides, get tickets. All right, I guess that's enough of that. I look at my notes. I didn't write anything else down. So, Lee, did you say you talked to Dave Thorson? Was that who you talked to? Oh, yeah, from on the PSRG over by Ballard, the guy that went out on the boat. Yeah, he was a really interesting person. I kind of met him at the lunches, but I didn't. I only knew him on the radio, I guess, really. But, yeah, nice guy. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
Thank you very much for that. Next on the list, Richard, K7ITX. Go ahead, come on now.
Okay, first of all, I'll just say I don't have an answer to any of your questions. Yeah, I've heard about Formula E, but that's all. I'm like you, Jim. I've just heard about it, maybe saw it for a little bit, and if I hadn't have been at the event I'm at today, I probably would have been really interested in watching what you watched, except I probably would have been watching, or at least paying closer attention to the Mariners. I tried to get Ron excited last Wednesday, but, you know, he had a lot of good reasons that I had no arguments for. So, I mean, I just felt sorry for him because, it's really fun to, get excited about your team, your city, and new blood. Like, he's not Ken Griffey Jr., but he's the next greatest. I mean, he's just really, he got a Grand Slam home run for his first one last night. I did see that on TV. So, it was, and some of the guys, they look so young. They look like, straight out of high school practically, and they're just working their hearts out. And Ron, I agree that they might disappear next year, but that's not the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is the chemistry is now. It's here and now, and it's happening, and that's all. So anyway, I'll get off that bandwagon. That's kind of sickening, isn't it? But anyway, oh my God. Another one of those racing events for us. I'll make it short, but I better take a break. Okay, I got it back. Okay, so, our sad situation, and I've already, there's the punchline right there. We are doing great, and this is after a lot of hard work. This is after brakes had seized up during practice, and that took 2 hours to fix that. We discovered more water, and we decided we needed to retune the timing, and so now it's running great. We're running first, and then all of a sudden we see our car pull off into the paddock with a couple laps to go, and so there goes that race. And now we go to the end of the line. We got to start in the back tomorrow, and now it's wrong. Open up the hood, expecting to see a big mess. Everything looks perfect. Start monkeying around. A spark plug wire is unhooked from the distributor. It's hard for a car to run like that. And how it just popped off. It popped off. So I don't know. I think we're going to try to figure out a way to keep it from ever popping off ever again. It was frustrating. Now we got to start from the rear end tomorrow. So I don't know. And we were the champions last year, so it'll be a miracle to pull off the future Sunday. I hope to have a great report on Wednesday, but I don't know. So anyway, that's it from Portland International Raceway, K7ITX.
Oh, okay, Richard, K7ITX. Next on the list, Jim in Covington, N7QO. Take it away, Jim. N7QO, thank you, Jim. Well, thanks for that information. I don't know. I'm curious what was taking off from Port Angeles. I don't know. Every now and then I hear something over here, look out the window, and it's like, what was that? Sometimes we catch it, sometimes we don't. But there are a couple of aircraft flying around here which are rather unique. A couple of people have AT-6s. There are let's see, one Stearman, one N3N, which is the Navy's answer to a Stearman, but in particular those radial engines have a really unique and loud sound. When my wife does Zoom meetings, she does it from the dining room area in our house, which is the closest to the runway, and she says every now and then something will take off, and while she's on the meeting, everyone is going, what is that? Just kind of funny. Of course, there's that Coast Guard base up there by Port Angeles as well. I don't know, it might be someone flying a little low, but I don't know. Yeah, nice airport up at Port Angeles. I don't know. Have to go check it out in greater detail sometime. WW7N and 7QO. 7QO in Covington. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Next up on the list, Bob at K9PQ. Are you still on Echolink?
I am still here, and I'm getting my video switched as I speak. So, let's see, I have a number of notes here. Not to pile on, but I am definitely in Richard's camp on this one. I don't believe the Mariners are going to sell off their good players, certainly not Julio, and this is different than years past. They've actually been consciously going through a rebuild, so we'll see. I mean, time will tell. I'm not saying I know I'm right, but that's what I believe. Yeah, as far as cats getting water from food, I've heard that as well. My last cat I had lived a very healthy 19 and a half years on kibble and water. Dry kibble and water in a separate dish, and he did just fine. This one's more spoiled after the little $7,000 mishap with her. My vet insisted that I feed her wet food, so she gets wet food and nothing but wet food these days. But my favorite cat fact is, unlike dogs that sort of adopted humans to be part of the family, cats, they did come out of the desert, and the way they began to be around humans was that humans had granaries with rats in them, and they used to believe that the humans somehow got the cats to take care of their rat problem, but it wasn't that at all. The cats just said, oh, easy food, I'm coming here because this is where all the food is. So so cats have tolerated humans, and that's still all they do. They just tolerate humans. They really have not gone beyond that, at least I don't think so. Sorry to hear about the car trouble, Richard. That's just terrible. Sounds like gremlins. And Jim, that's very cool about the Stearman and radial engines. I haven't seen one of those in a long time or heard them, and I imagine that is a beast. Okay, with that I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Okay, Bob, thank you, K9PQ. Up north towards Everett, checking in. Next on the list, farther north, Lee up in Port Angeles, N7KC.
Okay, very good. N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Okay, well, yeah, Dave, well, he and his wife bought 5 acres over here, the other side of Freshwater Bay. And they're going to put a little cabin on it and so forth. So we're going to see more of them now. But I first met him in 1980, and when I first went to work at Oceanography Engineering Services, and so forth. So it was really, I haven't seen him in a long time, so it's quite a lot of fun to have him stop by. Yeah. Fairchild International. Well, there's a couple of planes over there that have, for whatever reason, extremely noisy engines. I don't know. They're markedly noisier than anything else around. And we also have several biplanes here that are, I think they all have radial engines in them. I don't even have to look up. When I hear one of those, I can just identify the sound of that radial engine, and I know it's one of the 2 or 3 biplanes that are here, and I haven't been wrong on that ever. I needed to make a measurement of distance. I want to put up a folded dipole, a full-size 80-meter folded dipole, and I've got a 96-foot tree, and there's a spot I can look up here and there, and I can see where it's big enough I think it can be climbed and safely, and I'm going to have a couple of pulleys installed. Of course, I got to have a guy come by. But to make sure of the distance, I got a laser rangefinder here. It's a golf gadget, and this thing is just cool. It's an infrared laser. It's got an emitter on the bottom. Well, there you can see them there. So the bottom one's an emitter, and the top one is where you look through. Its range is 800 yards, and the accuracy is plus or minus 1/2 meter. I mean 800 meters plus or minus 1/2 meter. And so I went out and found where the terminus of the antenna would be, looked up in the tree, and it's 44 meters. Okay, and I want to put a 40-meter antenna up, so I got the space to do it. Got enough margin to do it. Oops, I just ran out of time, so I think I better quit. Back to you, James, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Go ahead.
Casey up in Port Angeles, thank you for that. And that is an amazing gadget. I've heard of those, and I remember for a while that was restricted technology. You couldn't export those rangefinders. I guess now everybody all over the world has them, but when they first came out, I remember that. That is amazing. It goes out to 800 yards. That is pretty darn good. It's about 35 minutes after the hour. Let me do another call for visitors. If anybody would like to check in and check out or join our conversation, please come now. Well, Richard, sorry to hear that you had the infamous wire come off of the distributor cap. My goodness, even I know that those vehicles won't work without spark. That is a tough break. Sorry to hear that. Ron, 600 horsepower in a car. I'm pretty sure that the ultralight I flew in Hawaii a few years back was not that much horsepower, not even. It was an ultralight aircraft. It did have an electric starter on it, but I don't know. I'll have to check my logbook to see what that was, but I'm pretty sure it didn't have 600 horsepower in the engine for a light aircraft. So, I'm not sure what you do with 600 horsepower other than just get speeding tickets in a parking lot. For the group, I guess I spoke a little thin there. Reminder to everybody, when we're using 103.5, you do have to push to talk and wait a second before you start talking. Has anybody heard from Jessica? I know she was not feeling well. I'm just curious to know if anybody's heard from her. If not, I'll probably give her a ring tomorrow and see how she's doing, because I know she was not feeling well. But the fact she's not here tonight has got me a little bit concerned. Let's see, the other
thing I was going to say is, Lee, you're inspiring me with a full-sized 80-meter dipole. I had a wire sewn up in a tree off my back deck, and the arborist from our association came along and cut off all the dead limbs, so I don't think I can even hit that. There's no limb to hit, and the next higher one up will be more challenging. I think I'm going to have to go to a bow and arrow next. But hiring someone to climb the tree, yeah, that is a solution too. I'm using the invisible black wire up the side of the tree since we're not supposed to have antennas here. My deck can't be seen from the street, so I'll leave it to your imagination what's on my deck. So let's see, steerman. I didn't know, Jim, that someone had a steerman out there. That is quite an airplane. Next time, if I ever get out there again, I will have to look for that. I would assume it's hangared somewhere. But that would be nice to see that. With that, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Let's take it back up to the top. Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU again, and it goes around fast. And Richard, that spark plug wire, that was crazy. I mean, somebody must not have pushed it in the cap very tight. It came out of the distributor cap, I think that's what you said. I'm not sure what he's telling me, but anyway, yeah, that was kind of bizarre. So, let's see, that rangefinder, Lee, they make, they've been using those in hunting for a long, long time. I never had one that was too sophisticated. They all go out, to 600 yards or more. And some of them will take into consideration whether you're shooting uphill or downhill. And they'll add the how high you have to hold above when you're shooting to your so you can put in the caliber of gun you're hunting with, and it'll tell you where the bullet's going to impact the target at so many 100 yards out there. It's almost like cheating. And I think some of them you can even put the wind in if there's wind blowing and everything else. Some of these guys that hunt have awful sophisticated equipment. But I've had an old rangefinder forever, and they're nice for sure. And let's see, there was a guy flying a model airplane over in the park, radio controlled plane, looked like a little Piper Cub or something, white. It's the second time he's had it over there. He's pretty good. He's flying it all around and doing all kind of stunts with it, so he was pretty good. One of Joanne's niece's son, Eli, he has one that has, lights in it, and he flies it at night out at the airfield because there's lots of room out there, and he puts on a show for everybody at night with his lighted radio-controlled airplane, so it's pretty neat. All right, I guess that's enough of that. Back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU, WW7N. Thank you for that. Next on the list, Richard, K7ITX. Take the mic, Richard.
Okay. All right. Well, I actually have a couple more pictures I think you will hopefully enjoy. Let's put it up here and share. And move this where I can understand what I'm doing, and I like to go to full screen mode. Okay. So this is probably the kind of car that maybe I think Lee used to enjoy. He's talked about Formula Ford. Whether this is a Formula Ford or not, I'm not exactly sure. Let's see here. It's pretty though. I like these small open wheel cars, or I don't know. This one's kind of cool looking. And then look at all that back there. Clearly, it's got the gearbox, the transmission in the back, kind of like yeah. I don't know. And then I can't see the engine hardly at all. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it looked like a plumber's nightmare when I walked past it. I had to take a picture of this. It just, so Lee might be able to shed some light on what we were looking at, but I don't know. I really don't. I just wanted to, for your sympathy, and yes, Ron, we had just done some timing on the car, and Josh, our driver, owner, and mechanic, swore up and down. He pushed down on all the spark plug wires on the distributor cap before he went out. And now I think he's going to actually zip tie each one tightly to the distributor. He already has done that to the wire that goes to the coil, from the coil to the top of the distributor. He's zip tied that sucker. I guess he's going to have to do it to all 4 spark plug wires. I guess. I mean, what a horrible thing to happen now. You know, he's not really. There's 25 cars in our group, and a lot of them are really slow, and it's just, and they're all spread out. They don't really have a very good start, and so, you know, by the time the leaders take the green flag at the start-finish line, there's a chance we're still, you know, 3/4 of a mile away before we can even put on the gas. So anyway, that'll be a fun report. Well, I hope it's a fun report because, I don't know, they were very frustrated. I'm just a spectator. I mean, what do? I get ice. I help people get up from the ground, you know, by, you know, when they need someone to give them a hand, you know. But I really enjoy the company and the sportsmanship, and I don't know, I have a feeling I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life, so. And, well, it doesn't cost me anything other than just a trip, you know. I mean, these are not, well, I bought a tank full of gas, and I've already told you how much, what is it, $10 a gallon, so I put out a little timeout.
Throws everyone off, so I think it's a 3-minute limit. Lee, you would know best on that, so I'll give it a second for everybody to get back on. N7KC connected, K7ITX testing. Anyway, okay, sorry you guys, long-winded as usual. I was about to sign off anyway. K7ITX back to net control. Okay, Richard, K7ITX. Yeah, if you tie out Echo Link, yeah, it's pretty unforgiving there. But let's let me move on to the next person on the list, Jim up in Covington, N7QO. N7QO, thank you, Jim. Well, thanks for those pictures too, Dick. That was, yeah, that does look like a plumber's nightmare back there. But probably all you have to do is pull those pipes, and you might have pretty good access to the engine. It's just if you need to fix the engine real quick, good luck. Anyway, that looks pretty cool. Let's see. Bob, spoiled cat. I'll tell you what, I had a cat, and this guy, he was specific. He liked drinking milk, but only a specific brand of milk. I swear to God, it's like I poured on this one dish one time because we ran out of the stuff that he liked and that we normally buy, and this cat looks at it, and he looks at me, and he just he walked away, wouldn't even drink it. But then when we finally got his brand back, realize cats get that much water out of their meals. I heard that humans get approximately 20% of their water supply through the foods they eat. I guess that would depend upon what sort of food you eat, though. I mean, big difference between watermelon and eating Cheerios or something. I don't know. But that's what I heard. And let's see. Lee, let me reset. Antenna. I thought you already had some sort of long wire antenna out there. You'll have to say what it sounds like maybe you're going to remove one antenna and replace it with this 80 meter dipole. If you can clarify that, just curious. I had a fellow not too awfully long ago climb one of my trees. He charged me $150, and he went up as high as he dared, which was a little over the 50-foot mark, I'm sure. But for $150, he did that. If I were, well, I was going to say 20 years, but if I were 30 years younger, I would definitely climb it myself. If I were 20 years younger, I would have thought about climbing it myself, but I'm sure my wife would have said, no, honey, you should not do that. So, oh well. And also, Lee, how did it go with was it an endodontist that you were going to see? Did they fix your tooth up pretty well? Are you still suffering? Sorry about that, guy. But I'm sure that all of us would like to know. WW7N and 7QO. Jim out in Covington, thank you very much for that. Next on the list, Bob, K9PQ. Take it away, Bob.
Okay, there we go. Hello again. So, yes, Dave and Michelle Thorson, I forgot to comment on that the last time around. I remember them well. In fact, Michelle had an acupuncture practice, and I was a patient of hers once, and it really was something. It was pretty impressive, I have to say. I became a believer, but I didn't actually have a need or want to become a regular patient of hers, so I just did it the one time. But it was pretty impressive, I have to say. Jim, as far as the spoiled cat, one brand of milk, that's fantastic. The only other thing that sort of even comes close to that I can think of is a friend of mine said he had a cat that would take the dry cat food he had, the kibble, one at a time out of its bowl, drop it in the water till it got wet, and then he would eat it out of the water bowl. So that's the only way he would eat his food. And as far as your wife, Jim, saying that you should climbing, I've heard of honey too. That must be a honey don't list that you have from her. Lee, I'm very curious about the tooth, and also some time ago, one of the last times I saw you, you were having problems where you couldn't taste anything. I don't know if that had anything to do with your tooth or not, or if that was just a weird thing. So if you could let me know about that, I'd appreciate it. And I think that's all I have of this go around. Back to that K9PQ.
K9PQ, thank you, Bob. I just noticed Bert N7CS had joined us. Bert, why don't you go ahead and jump right in? Okay, I'm not sure if Bert has audio or if he's on Echo Link, so I'll go next to Lee, N7KC, and then we'll try Bert again.
Okay, N7KC. be in Port Angeles. I do not show Bert on the Echo Link. He doesn't show up there, but I'd love to know what he's doing, how his trip is going, and just where he is, to be honest. So, Bert, if you can hear us, so wave. Can you wave, Bert? Okay, very good. Well, all right, first the tooth. Well, it turns out I went to the endodontist last Tuesday. I get a root canal this coming Thursday. The tooth has 3 roots. Oh, he does hear us. Bert, you hear us okay? Wave. Could you that take a wait? Anyway, well, my tooth has 3 roots, and one of them is infected. And there's also a deep pocket running down the distal side of the tooth, the back of it. And it doesn't swell up because that infection is draining into my mouth. So when I chew, it's apparently squishing stuff up, and that's what's changing my taste, we think. Anyway, it all seemed to come down about the same time as tooth started to misbehave. So we're thinking that once I get those 3 roots fixed up there, why I should be in pretty good shape again. Antenna-wise, I already have an 80-meter dipole, a full-size 80-meter dipole, but it's never more than 20 feet from the ground, and it's got not a right angle in it, but it's obtuse. Anyway, it's less than optimum, and here I've got a tree. It looks to me like a guy can probably climb it up to the level that I need it, so the top of the antenna would be very nearly to 90 feet if they can get up there. And I'm going to have them put 2 pulleys up, and then I'll have that big long, that's about as long as I can put here. I've got 44 meters of space for a 40-meter antenna. Halfway of 80 is 40 meters. So I'm going to put a 6x6 up down on the corner of the property, and it'll angle down over the house, and then I'll have it's going to be folded for sure. I love the broadband antenna. And then I'll bring the twin lead over to the house in a 9-to-1 balun, and then coax in just like I've done the others. So I'll end up having 4 big antennas up, 2 80s, 40, and a 20, and so forth. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I'm out of time, so I'm going to send it back to James. This is N7KC in Port Angeles. Back to you, James.
N7KC up in Port Angeles. That sounds like a very impressive antenna farm. Well, looks like we have about 6 minutes left, so I'm going to ask one more time for visitors. Anyone want to check in, check out, say hello, see if the push-to-talk button works on your radio. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. We welcome all check-ins. If so, come now. No visitors heard. Let me try one more time for Bert. I want to say thank you, Bert, and 7KC for the video. We're not hearing you, but it looks like you are in San Francisco is what it looks like. Can you hear me, or can you respond on any audio medium? Through the network, a long delay, so I did get that message. Okay, got the text message, so thank you very much, Bert, for joining us tonight. I don't know if you know ASL. I can hear you talk. I can see your lips moving. I cannot hear you talking. With 5 minutes left, let me just say thank you, everyone, for joining and participating tonight. Really interesting net tonight. Once again, Lee, I hope you heal quickly. It sounds awful. I really hope things go well next Thursday. We'll be waiting for a report. Hopefully you'll be healed up enough to talk on Saturday, and hope that gets squared away. So at this point, let me wrap it back around to the top, see if we can give everybody a chance here. Ron, KD7QKU, take it away.
Okay, thank you again, James. he said he would join us on Zoom afterwards, so we can probably hear him on Zoom. So he'll tell us what's up. And I guess I just have one question for Richard. Did the VW rabbit show up? I'm curious about the rabbit. He's shaking his head no. That's too bad. All right, back to net. KD7QKU.
Richard K7ITX. Well, where was the rabbit? Go ahead and take the microphone. WW7ATS.
Is it for me? Is it my turn or? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no, I don't know where the rabbit was, and I was wondering that myself, and if I remember, I'll try to find out tomorrow. But it's funny that you mentioned the rabbit because there was this Volkswagen Bug, just like one I used to have, but whatever it had in the back certainly wasn't anything I ever had before, and it was a monster. In fact, it picked up. It wasn't in our group or in our class or any of that. It was in the small bore category, but I did make it to the podium. And but here's the weird part about the VW Bug, and I'm going to just take one break. I don't want to take a chance screwing up. Okay, so what I found out about the VW Bug is someone asked me before they told me about it is I said he's not a singer or maybe I'm saying his name wrong, Kanye someone, and isn't he married to someone, Kim Kardashian or something like that? And so anyway, well, as it turns out, the driver and owner of the VW Bug is actually is Kanye West's personal attendant, and Kanye wasn't there today and never does go to these things, but it just blew my mind that someone, when I say personal, he's the guy that does all of Kanye's clothes and designs. And I mean, this is one of the richest people in the world. How he got so rich, I don't know. I guess he can rap really good, I mean, but so I don't know. I don't know even why I brought it up. I mean, Ron, you should have never brought up the VW Rabbit because I had thoroughly put the owner of this Bug behind my wife, and now I have to remember it. But I guess I'll never. He always goes out of his way to not be on camera. Doesn't like to be on camera, this guy. So I'll never see him on TV. Kanye, yes, but this guy that drives the Bug, no. But I'm sure I've seen the Bug a lot too. So that's what's really got me thoroughly mystified now. So anyway, a lot of fun, you guys. K7ITX back to Net Control 73.
Thank you for that. Well, it looks like we're at the top of the hour. I'd like to thank, first of all, let me ask, does anyone have anything for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net? Any parting comments or any visitors who'd like to say hi? Okay, nothing heard. My name is James, WW7ATS. I'd like to thank the owners and operators of the OA repeater here for letting us use the OA repeater for our audio channel, and for all the amateur radio operators who give us this repeater for our use for our net, 8 p.m. Pacific time, Wednesdays and Saturdays. So with that, I'm going to say this is Net Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. My name is James, WW7N. Good night.